Is it going?
Should be.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Thursday Night Live. Tuesday Night Live. What am I talking
It's
about?
not Thursday.
No.
Hopefully I set everything up right. It's
Yeah.
been a week since I did this. And I
2
had to,
weeks. Because
2
we didn't go
weeks?
live last
Yeah.
week. Hi, Linda.
to remind me how to do all this.
I have dirt. Where is it at?
Oh, yeah. Can you see us and hear us okay?
Just waiting for other people to join. Hi, Linda. How are you? Oh, did you just change logins? Because you were Linda Smith? I'm still not used to why is that not clipped here? Because
Why is what?
I'm not used to looking up at the camera.
No.
So we weren't on live last week because we had all the kids home. Hey, country homestead preacher. Our son and daughter-in-law were in town from Hawaii.
They did? They showed up on what? They showed up
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Last week when would have been our live stream.
So we were having dinner plans with all of them. They had not met Cameron's girlfriend yet.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, we invited Cameron and Claire, and Nick came down and visited too. And we made, what did we make?
pulled pork? No, that was the weekend.
Honey garlic chicken with
yeah.
rice and broccoli and
Brussels sprouts. But oh my gosh, we had a hoot. So we have archives. I mean archives of kids movies. So back when our kids were little, what were those little stick things that
it was
they
called
had out?
it was called a flip video camera.
These
and
little
it was tiny little camera like this big, and one basically like 3 buttons on the back, like record, stop, and play or something. And they
Yeah.
were like $60, and I think we bought 2 of them.
Yeah, but they had the time of their lives, like, especially probably during summertime when they were off school.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to make videos, and Todd would take their camera when they didn't have it and download them all. And some of the things they didn't even know we had. And we were just sitting around the
Well,
TV.
they used to make their own little YouTube videos.
Yeah, they
like
did.
when they were little kids, and they had some
Hey, guys.
Gons, Mike, Tracy. We haven't seen you guys in a while.
Deborah, he was just asking about you. I said he's probably out hunting. And Stivers, Citystead, hey, the hesitant homesteader, Diana, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, but they had some crazy YouTube adventures. One of their channels like got shut down because we're like, no, done. You're done with this, and
we shut it down.
We made them delete their whole YouTube channel because if they got in trouble with somebody. And
yeah,
there was these crazy adventures, but every now and then it'd be like, hey, let me see your camera. Mm-hmm. And I'd take it over to my computer and I'd plug it in and just copy all. So I have archives and archives of all this footage that our kids put together.
And way back then, he used to take them and then edit them and make movies from them to like either music, or one of them you did to like Monty Python where they were like talking, but it was Monty Python words over it. And oh my gosh. So the girlfriends and then the wife now hadn't seen a lot of those, and we were just, tears rolling down our face. But we do have a picture to share with you guys of their visit, and we sat around, and one of the things that we do every time we're together is, except Todd's not a big board game person, but we played balderdash, but what I thought was so funny about this picture is, you know, when you play board games and you have to get a book, you know, to write your answers or hide your cards or whatever from somebody else. Every single one of the books that the kids have is a Joel Salatin book or some other kind of homesteading book. And it was just really cute to see. When I looked at the picture, see Cameron's holding Everything I Want to Do Is Illegal. And we just had great time.
So Ron's Lamistus? Or is it Ron's or Rhonda? Welcome,
she
Valerie.
Said Rhonda. Mm-hmm. Hey, Berlin lady. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
And Karen. Michigan Mike. Hey, buddy.
They are a hoot. So we were talking before the live stream, like one of these days we're going to pull out some of the good ones and share with you guys just a quick snippet into our lives as parents raising little ones and what they were crazy about. And
yeah, in fact, there's one of them right there. Nick, our moderator.
Nick, we were just talking about last Tuesday night when we were watching all the old videos.
And so Nick is our son. He's got the little wrench, our moderator tonight. If anybody else is going to be around throughout the show tonight and you want to help us out by being a moderator, let us know and we'll give you a wrench for the night. And that way, if Nick has to bail, we have some people around that can help us out if we need it.
Yeah, can't trust them little ones. Nick knows there was airsoft BB guns through the holes through the screen windows from them shooting outside at each other.
Yes.
But I couldn't have asked for, I mean, after watching all that, I'm like, okay, that was some pretty awesome memories you guys made together. How are the onions doing after that freeze? To be honest with you, we were in the garden tonight and I didn't even look at them. I was a one-track mind. I had to get my rhubarb out and get it transplanted, and I didn't even look at them.
I didn't look at it either.
So I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to be fine.
How long had that rhubarb been in that bed?
It was like one of the
year,
first things I planted when we moved in,
so like
2016.
2 years?
Mm-hmm. Well,
we dug that thing up, and some of the roots were 18 inches long.
yeah.
And huge, like this big around.
Right. So I'm hoping one of the things I read, when you transplant rhubarb, you want to do it before they really start to open up in leaves. So I had some like tiny baby leaves that were already opening. So I hope it's not going to hurt it too bad. I probably actually should have done it like a month ago or so, but the ground was still frozen. Or last fall would have been optimal. That's what I think. I think onions are hardy. I mean, if they weren't hardy, they wouldn't tell you to plant them so early. So I did look at my garden journal from 2018, and I had not planted my onions till the first week of April. So I'm thinking I will have a longer season this year and hopefully do better. Hi, Hidden Within Myself. Glad you're here. Rolling Homestead, welcome. The Busy Little House, welcome.
Freaky Geek, welcome.
Oh, so yeah, we just had an awesome visit. Press and M did leave today to head back to Hawaii.
Oh, they did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see them again, though. That's who the wedding reception's for. So they'll be right back in May.
Mm-hmm. And Preston, if you're watching this, you left a bunch of stuff here.
Yeah, I wonder if that was on purpose. Can I have that jacket that you left?
Yeah, and I'll use your Nintendo Switch, please.
I wonder if he left it because it wasn't working or something broke on it, or
I don't know. I doubt it. I think it was an accident.
I started onions from seed. How soon can I put them in the ground? To be honest with you, I don't know. I have never planted onions from seed. Well, I take that back. I winter sowed them last year, and they ended up coming up, but they came up way later than my onion slips that I bought from Johnny Seed did. So I never did anything with them, like transplanting wise. But I bet In My Gardener has a growing guide for onions. And if you went and checked that out, he might tell you. Hey, Whole Picture Home, welcome. Aw, that's tough. Meltdowns are hard enough without any challenges along with it. So we are significantly in our thaw period. Even though we had that little ice snowstorm stupidness on Sunday, it's all thawed and we're just pumping and pumping and pumping water.
I should probably turn the pump off before bed.
Okay.
And then tomorrow we'll turn it back on. It's almost gone. If you saw our weekend in review video, you saw the giant pond was back, and it's been running since...
Hi, Cindy.
Was it Sunday? We put the pump back in?
It never had stopped, had we?
Saturday, I think I started the pump.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah, it's been going nonstop, which was nice because we did a lot of work in the food forest today. So I just had a hose available to water everything. That was great.
Hey, Heaven's Gate Cherry Farm, welcome.
So Stivers has good information about the onions. They grew theirs in the greenhouse for 4 weeks until the slightest bit of a bulb started, and then they planted them in their raised beds.
It's almost like the little slips that you planted with like a little bulb like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, the big ones were the tip of your pinky, but the small ones, you could barely see anything. Oh, don't say you dream of these problems. So dream of suddenly the snow is gone and it's dry. Don't dream for the melt. Somehow you're going to skip it, I hope. Citystead said that they've been outside moving dirt and tossing compost. Spring is close. I had the most awesome experience tonight. I wish I would have had a camera to film it because it is just like proof to the pudding. Why is that a saying? Proof in the pudding?
Proof is in the pudding?
Yeah, because pudding doesn't proof like bread.
I think it's a different kind of proof.
Oh, okay. I wonder if anyone knows why that is a saying. I don't know. But if you guys caught the video on how I keep my chickens in a run and they make a ton of compost for me. Well, I was walking over there to show Todd because it gets so deep and we just have like a small little, what is that piece of wood called?
It's like a 5/4 deck board, I think.
Okay, yeah. So just small deck boards at the bottom that surround the chicken coop, and then it's the chicken wire. And I was walking him over there to show him, like, we really need to build that board higher because it gets so deep every year that they end up kicking it out. And I lose a lot of compost into the forest. Well, then I was looking at it, and I'll show you in a minute what I was doing in there. I'm like, I can totally get this right now. So I just took a shovel and was shoveling all that free compost that's fallen out of the chicken coop. You had to try out the pudding to know it's good. That's where it comes from. I bet. That sounds right. I think it's a different kind of proof, they said. Awesome. So I'm looking, I'm going to buy, I had every intention on winter sowing my broccoli. It's just too cold, too frozen for too long here in Michigan to do that. So I did call Lowe's today from work, and I asked them if they had any broccoli starts yet. And she said no, but she should be getting them in a week.
At Lowe's?
At Lowe's. I've seen them there before,
Really?
which is why I remembered to call them. So I'm hoping to get my broccoli starts going here soon. Okay, night, Nick.
He's been having a good time at his new apartment.
Yes.
He sent me some Snapchats yesterday. He went to Aldi's and he got himself some New York strip steaks. Got one of those cast iron grill pans and he had it on his stove and he was cooking his steak in his house. looked good. It had like nice grill marks on
Yeah.
it, and he's doing good.
Can't say proof is in the pudding around here. I eats the pudding. Same as sleep like a baby makes no sense. Exactly. I've always said that too. When you're a parent of little ones, you're like, why is that even a saying? That doesn't make sense. Or maybe we use it wrong, and back in the day when they came up with the saying, he sleeps like a baby, means you didn't get any sleep.
Once Upon a Farm said, "Hi, welcome."
Okay, but let me show you well, I guess since we've been talking about it, I'll show you what we've been up to. So we did start the first of our food forest plantings today. As you can see, I have the same shirt on. It's still covered in dirt. And we got, so if you remember maybe 2 weekend in reviews ago, so I'm really late getting these trees in the ground, so I'm hoping that they're going to make it just fine. I went to a farm just maybe 15 minutes up the road from me, and a guy ran a tree farm operation, and I picked up 2 persimmons, 2 plums, and 2 pear trees. So I got those all planted today, and you can't really see them in the picture because they're, just little things. You can kind of see like right above my head, kind of like a V. That's
One of the pears, right?
no, that's one of the plums. The persimmon trees were quite a bit smaller. They were only maybe like 3 foot tall, but the plums were 6 foot tall or so, and so were the pears. And right here, what I'm doing is I am planting the rhubarb that I went and had Todd help me dig out of the raised beds in the garden, and transplanting those here into the food forest. So it's kind of like if you took my body and kind of went out my rear end backside a little bit towards the grass, and then took my head and drew a line over here and then up to this corner. It's kind of like a triangle of probably 4 trees and 2 rhubarbs that have been started right there. Okay. So Busy Little House said you don't have to do yoga during planting season, LOL. No, but my back is killing me. So persimmons will grow like small trees. Hey, Drummer Girl's here. Hey, welcome, Drummer Girl. I'm so glad you're here. Now this one is...
So do persimmons grow like bushes or trees? They look like trees, right?
Yeah, I said trees. And I have a whole bunch on order from Stark Brothers that I've shared with you guys in a last live stream. I went through all the trees and bushes I ordered from them. So if you remember, I got some horseradish. So some horseradish is going in there, currants, things like that. I just cleaned out my strawberries the other day. I could plant some strawberries in there. But anyway, what this picture is of, and you can see my chicken coop right behind me. And actually, you can see what I was talking about at the bottom is that little deck board barrier. And you can see kind of behind this tree over here where it's kind of like wet looking. That's from where I dug all the compost away and put that in and around my trees. But right behind where this stack of logs is, you can see those 2, what are they, the box
Stumps?
elders?
Yeah, box elder
Box
trees.
elder stumps. I had him cut those 2 down so I could plant one of my pear trees there because they were kind of growing out at a funky angle, and I didn't like them. And I'm like, and this is kind of a hill. You can't really tell in this picture. I'm like, I want to put one of my pear trees right on top of that little hill right there.
Mid-South Homestead, welcome.
Okay, so Whole Picture Homestead, thank you for that, because I do have some turmeric that I could take. I have a ruptured disc from when I was 19 years old, and when I do too much bending over, it just gets out of whack. And there's the picture of when I was telling you that the rhubarb had the tiny little leaves just opening. That picture represents that. But I was so excited, and I told him, like, I don't know if I'm ignorant. I honestly don't know. But that soil just looks so beautiful to me, and it's just native soil from being in the forest for so long and so much compost and everything falling on it over, the seasons. And I think it just looks great. I said, I don't know if the color's just fooling me. I mean, I'm sure it could be missing some minerals and stuff, but it was very loamy, yet had enough texture in it that it could hold on to moisture. And anyway, what I did was I planted everything, and then I top dressed it with a very thick layer of like the compost and mulch that had fallen out of the chicken coop. And then from him chopping all those trees down, I have just tons of debris and leaves and pieces of bark and sawdust, and raked that all on top as my mulch.
Well, the whole area that we're planting in was basically forest floor.
Yeah.
For an unknown number of years, like
I would say
5 to 7 years, maybe longer.
No, I would say at least since the 70s when we saw that picture.
Oh, true.
So for a very, very, very long time, it's been nothing but forest.
So like weeds, thick layer of leaves. It took us a long time to clear all that.
Yeah.
Now, what's left below is basically like freshly exposed back to Eden soil without the mulch on top, so it's black. There's a lot of worms in it. Looks very good.
Yes. So that was our adventure I got home probably a little bit before 5, and we worked till, I don't know, like 7:30 or so we came in.
Yeah. Had to get ready for the live show and eat some dinner.
But while we were out there, all I asked him to do was just show me where it's okay that I can plant trees. And he got the chainsaw out and went to chopping down a whole bunch more stuff. So we just had those box elders are just nasty trees. And they die and then start growing out the bottom. And we had so much poison ivy and Virginia creeper all through there. Mm-hmm. And so it's just vine covered and choking so many trees. So he was working on cutting a lot of that out.
There was a Virginia creeper vine that I found, and it must be like the mother plant, because you know really? How it'll grow and grow to this tree and it grow up, and then one of them will go down and it touch the ground, and then it grows again and goes to the next tree. Yeah. I found one that was that big.
Oh, did you really?
I cut it.
Did you?
Stuff is nasty. I mean, it's not harmful like poison ivy. It doesn't make you sick and make you break out in a rash, but it is very, very invasive.
Yes, he talked about that nice sharp chain. He was very impressed with it and went back in the garage after he was done and used his little vice grip and sharpened it back up.
I did. It took me I think I'm going to get better at it, but I nicked the dirt twice while I was cutting these trees because I wanted to cut some of the stumps as low to the ground as I could get them. So I knew I dulled it a little bit, so I went back in the garage, and within 3 minutes, I did 2 passes on every tooth, and it's razor sharp again.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, Virginia creeper is the worst, and I see it for sale on places online. Yes, you can still buy it as an ornamental vine. And I was like, people do not buy that stuff. It is so invasive.
Oh, and our snow glories?
Oh, they're
on
everywhere.
The side in that forest are
go get the bag.
Everywhere this year.
Well, I'll get it because you're squeaky.
Absolutely everywhere this year. And they're 1 week from now, that whole floor in that forest is all going to be little blue flowers from them snow glories. It's going to be amazing this year. It seems like they spread every year. It's like one of those, I think you could probably plant 3 of them in your woods, and next year you're going to have 37, and the year after that you're going to have like 157, and they just kind of spread and multiply.
Oops.
I wasn't
Hope
reading.
the dirt did not bleed too much. I hope not either. But I have this little baggie, and so I would just want to show you how tiny these things are. Every now and then you see one that's a little bit bigger, but these are the size of the bulbs. So I'll just put my finger up next to it. It's, maybe the size of not even the size of my fingertip. And when I was planting the trees and the rhubarb, so many of these were in there, and I popped them all out and saved them off to the side and told Todd, we need to give these to your mom or somebody that can use them. So we threw them in a bag and put them in the fridge for now. Yeah, I'll put it back.
This will be fun. If we can snag some more, I'll see. Maybe we can snag another little bag of them, and maybe next week we'll give away a bag to somebody and mail them to you, and you can see if you can plant them. It's usually, for us here where we live in Southeast Michigan, it's usually like the second to third week in April. They'll all come up and bloom. Once the flowers die off, I hit them with a lawnmower.
And it just looks like grass then.
And it looks like grass.
Yeah.
And then next year, it's the very first plant that blooms every year.
Yep. And I saw like lots of little blue heads at the ground. They just haven't popped up all the way.
Twin cedar, welcome.
So I love rhubarb too, but I tried to harvest it last year and make something, and it was terrible. So I don't think I either, one, harvested it at the right time, or two, know how to properly prepare rhubarb. So I'm going to try again this year. I'm not going to give up, but
Did you make some kind of strawberry rhubarb bake thing, and the rhubarb was all hard still?
It was, yes. So I think that tells me I harvested it too late. So I researched, maybe just last week, about how to properly harvest rhubarb, and I'm going to try again. We do get a lot of fiddleheads, not at this property, but at our cabin property, tons and tons of ferns.
Do we have an image of it, as in the snow glories and what they look like?
We do. Not available today, but you're going to see it in one of our next live shows. As soon as they pop, we're going to show it to you. What?
I was going to check.
Try.
I'll keep the chat open for you.
Okay.
I thought we showed it like 1 week recently.
We did.
Yeah, but I've been cleaning this off after we've been done with it lately. So.
Okay. Yeah, fiddlehead. So I would love to try, I know you can pickle them, so I would love to try that, or even fry them up and saute them.
Yeah, bacon grease and onions.
We've never cooked them ourselves, but typically we miss it when we get to the cabin. They're already too far open.
Too tall.
Yeah, because you want to harvest them when they're still tightly curled.
Yeah, fiddleheads are ferns. When they first grow out of the ground, it's a tiny little curly head.
Before they open up, and you want to harvest them while they're still all curled up. So, I'm going to show them what else I did. Because a lot of things that it's just going to be too much, I think. As much as I want to capture and videotape a whole lot more gardening, I did actually. I did film a video on this. I just haven't finished editing it. I don't know that it's that good, honestly, because I did it like as I was going, last minute thought. But I did get some, when I planted all those onions in the garden, I did get some herbs and flowers winter sown in my oak barrels out in the garden, as well as one of the raised bed in the four corners. So stay tuned for that. I guess I will publish the video here shortly, just so if anyone is interested, they can probably still get a jump. Especially you guys that are in northern climates. Folks that are more down south, it's probably not going to do you much good at this time. But it's a way that I get a jump start on my growing season, and helps me direct sow seeds a lot earlier than you otherwise would. I don't have grow lights. I don't have a greenhouse. So this is a way for me to make little microclimates, mini greenhouse effect, and direct seed in my garden. And I ran out of pop bottles, so then I said, I wonder if mason jars will work. So this is my first year trying the mason jar trick. We'll see if it works. When I was out there tonight, I did notice the pop bottles have a whole lot more condensation in them, which is a good thing, than my mason jars do. So I'm not quite sure why that is, but we'll see. There are things like oregano, sage, parsley, poppies, what else? I did plant one broccoli and one cauliflower in these. So we'll see how they come up.
When will we get a greenhouse? Don't know. Don't think it's really on our...
Not anytime soon.
Anytime in our near future.
Yeah.
We need to get a barn at some point.
Yeah. Barn's way more important than a greenhouse for me right now.
And a tractor with a loader.
Yeah.
Because we're going to need a lot of wood chips moved.
Yep. Even the pond dig is before a greenhouse for me, just so we don't have to fight this water all the time to properly put in a pond where it's naturally low right there. And then maybe we'll actually have ducks again because they can just enjoy the pond and not make a mess. And we really enjoyed having ducks, but I don't want them again because of the mess that they make.
I liked watching them. They were really fun. So I consider ducks to be good pets. But I didn't really like eating them. I didn't like our ducks. I didn't care for... Part of it could be the way that I cooked them. But it wasn't all that good. And there's not a lot of meat on them either, so... If we get ducks again, they just might be pets.
Stivers said pickled bacon has to be a thing. If not, we're going to figure out how to make it a thing. I don't know that I would like pickled bacon.
Yeah, Busy Little House said, well, the 2-liter pop bottles not blow away. You push them down into the dirt. Yep. So you cut the bottom off and then you push them down in.
Yeah, I kind of screw them down into the dirt and then kind of the dirt piles against it. So they're at least a half an inch into the dirt.
Yeah, Stivers, you guys need a barn too. We have a shed and we have a carriage house. It's an old school style carriage house from the late 1800s where you would park your carriage under one side of it and the other is like a 2-story. But you can't really store anything big in there because it just has a single normal man door on the side. It doesn't have a garage door or anything like that. So we really want a place where we can store our extra equipment, our tractor, some stalls for our animals.
Yeah, we've kind of we do have an agreement, right? Regarding the carriage house?
As far as if we build a barn, Can you have the carriage house?
Yeah.
Both floors or one floor?
Both floors.
Both floors?
So I want
Maybe
the carriage
first
house.
floor.
And the carriage house right now is his barn. It's really both of ours, but for the most part, it's his barn. The downstairs is where he keeps a lot of his big carpentry type stuff and his bee equipment and all of his extra bee boxes and bee tools. And the upstairs is kind of like our camping supply, fishing supply, warehouse thing. And one of these days we're going to show it to you. It's on my video list for the summer to give you guys a tour of this place. It will make the absolute perfect guest house. I mean, I really truly believe that back in the day it likely was farm quarters for farm workers. It had to have been. It is perfect for an upstairs sleeping. You could easily fit 2 or 3 full-size beds up there. Downstairs, I want to make into a living room and little off-grid type kitchenette with a composting toilet. And then when we can either put it on Airbnb as potential income stream, or when family comes into town, it's a nice guest house. So, oh, thanks. You know what? Just go ahead and remove them. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
I missed it, so I didn't see it.
Yeah, I was catching up and trying to switch over to the other computer. And as far as turning that into a guest house,
I
would be fine with doing it to the first floor, but the second floor is such good storage. And we don't have people that want to come and stay with us.
Yeah, but when we do, we have them. Like all of my sisters, all of my family's coming into town.
I don't know. It's
I have a vision board. The vision board's going to happen.
The Pinterest board?
Yes. Yes.
It just seems like a waste of space to be used once every 5 years when someone comes to visit.
Well, I agree with that point. But if we run it as an Airbnb, then we're making money every weekend.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yes, lots of plans. Sometimes you're just not exactly on the same page, and you just have to keep talking it through, and eventually they come around.
Thank you, Stivers, for handling that. We should be cool. We'll keep an eye on it.
I think they hit them so that we won't see them anymore.
What else did we have for pictures? What are we doing for time? 9:36. You got a lot of pictures to get to still?
I think all that's left is a couple things. I don't remember like that. We haven't shown in that. There's just a couple things. Yeah, we haven't ever really considered like side hustles. You know, you hear people talk about homestead hustles and ways to make extra money just because we're both still working. But I do have very, very, what's the right word?
I don't know.
Very serious intentions on retiring when I'm 55, which is way younger than normal people would retire. And I will be taking a huge hit on my 401k by doing so. Like, if I stayed until I was even 58 or 60, I would be in a much better position than leaving at 55. That's something that, you know what, that's a very strong topic that no one ever talks about in the homestead community, is retirement planning. You hear people talking about setting up their homestead for aging in place, but not the financial aspect of it. And I have every intention on, and I've been working hard at this. I put a ton away in savings every paycheck. So I make sure that when I retire, I'm going to be okay. And so we want to travel. You know, we've even talked about, we'll homestead 1 year, we'll put up enough food. The next year we'll take the homestead off and we'll work on our bucket list. So was I going with that? I don't know where I was going with that, but I think it's side hustles. Yes. So we had not really thought about very many side hustles, but as we're getting closer, I am thinking about it because I'm thinking about what are my opportunities that if I do take a hit on what would be optimal retirement level income, what are my side hustle opportunities? So we hit rental properties cheap, resell them, rent to own, giving us monthly money. As one is paid off, or two, we buy a couple more cheap, of course. That's an awesome side hustle. My sister and brother-in-law just started flipping houses out in Utah, and they're doing an awesome job. They buy like really beat up foreclosures, do a quick contractor level flip on them, and they're doing really good. Really? So Linda said, I'm retired. Whatever you think you need, double it. See, I'm thinking whatever I need. I don't need that much. So because we're going into it, debt free. So I'm thinking that, do I even need as much as I'm making now while we're paying off debt? I mean, I'm going to have full insurance. I'm going to have this. So, I mean, we really should talk to a financial planner to just make sure that we're thinking about it correctly. But I agree about spreading your side hustles out.
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier this week about diversifying side hustles. And what else what if we did Etsy, or what if we did this, and what if we, all these other different ways that other people diversify even small amounts of income.
Yeah.
And
I mean, even if we're just talking about $50 a month here, $50 a month there, that's a grocery bill for us. So
adds up.
Yeah. Cost of insurance and medicine is terrible. Well, I agree with you. It is. We're fortunate that our company that we work for, so long as the company remains in existence anyway, which we're fortunate that we work in an industry that everyone will need power, as far as we know. So we work for a major utility company, and so we have significant level of job security, and we do get full health care, dental, vision, all that with our retirement.
If you retire at 58 or above.
Right. So you'll just put me on your insurance since I'm retiring at 55. That's my plan. Oh. Yes, I get that. And of course, yes, I get that. We're talking about, inflation.
Oh, right.
Sure. I mean, there's going to be expenses that come up, right? I mean, whatever car I have at 55 is not going to be the car that I need when I'm 85. So awesome, City Stead. He's been working really hard, and he wants to retire at 50. That's awesome. Yes, we both work for DTE. Yep. It's a great company.
Pictures. You snagged this picture you really liked.
I did, and it drives me crazy looking at it. But so where we're, if you point down directly here, that's kind of the food forest where I was working today, and that what you're seeing, those last few trees, is just exiting out
where
of
Rachel's
there.
stomach would be.
Yeah. And those rows that you see, I'm pointing the wrong way. These rows are my existing orchard rows. And you see 3 that are heavily mulched. The one closest to the goats' paddock is a blueberry row. And then the 2 that are furthest away to our neighboring property, those have pears, peaches, and apples. And you'll see one that's kind of like a pencil line almost. That's the start of a new one that we planted 2 pecans in last year and some currants. So I need to finish that this year. So some of the trees that are coming that's going to go in that 3rd row right there are 2 cherry trees and a new peach tree to replace the one that got damaged by the deer.
Oh, we're going to replace it?
Well, we're just going to start it in that 3rd row. So
okay.
Assuming that it's going to die. But what drives me crazy is we planted those first 2 orchard rows before we planted our blueberry row. And I look at this and I'm like, that's so not straight. Now that you can see it from the air. And he's like, well, we'll just have to keep slowly fanning them out.
Yeah, in between.
So
just keep the angle going. But that one side, so that the bottom, let's see. I don't know.
What are you trying to show?
I don't know. I wish there was a way to point at these pictures. So that end, that far row like that.
The one by the goat shelter or the one to the neighboring property?
That edge of our property is shaped like this. So the sides of our property aren't straight to begin with. But everything within our property, we try to keep straight, like the goat pen in the middle and the pig paddock to the next side of that.
And the garden.
And then the raised bed, Ruth Stout garden, it's way up in the corner up there. All of those are straight to each other, but it's these rows on the side that are kind of crooked.
Yeah. But then they would look crooked like once I put a fence up, like the pasture fence. If I had made them straight with everything else, they would have looked funny. So
when your property's like this, you have to do something. Something has to be straight or everything's going to be crooked. Currants are good. You can't find them in your area. Someone new joined too that I saw up here. Mary's Organic Garden Journal. Welcome.
Welcome. So we planted them last year and we ended up getting probably a handful of currants and I really enjoyed them. That was my first time ever having them. He said he can remember having them as a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My next door neighbors, when I was a little kid, there was two neighbors that lived on either side of us in the house where I grew up. One was an old man and old lady. They were retired and they had gardened their entire life. And I think they had maybe 3 or 4 acres. And of the 3 or 4 acres, 90% of it was gardens.
Nice.
And it wasn't just all food. It was flower gardens. And they would have these massive gardens every year. Neighbors on the other side was another elderly couple. But they had a tiny little piece of property. It was like 50 foot wide by like 300 foot long, and half of it was all gardens. And it was like, while the old people with the flower gardens, every row was perfect. He was out there every day with his rototiller. The people with the little narrow strip of property was chaos. It was like everything was planted everywhere, but they had currants everywhere, gooseberries everywhere, all kinds of unique things that you wouldn't really find anywhere. And they used to bring me over all the time when I was little and just send me home with handfuls of these things.
So James asked, where's the pond going to go? And see kind of that. So obviously, hopefully you can tell where the pig paddock is because it's dark. It's that paddock that sits between...
Right above Rachel's head.
Yep. So this paddock right here is the pig paddock. And directly above it, it's kind of like a dark greenish area that looks that way because that's all flooded. And that's a huge poplar grove that grows back there that's super, super low. So my intent, I'm not sure that it's going to work, but we need to get a pond builder out here and actually do an assessment for us, would be just to optimize where water's naturally wanting to sit on our property and dig that out with some of the excess that comes out, because whatever soil we pull out to plant or make a pond can't leave our property. That's one of the restrictions here. So we'll fill a lot of our low spots on our property and kind of regrade it appropriately. But yeah, so kind of behind the pig paddock. Not when I say behind, not directly behind, but back that way. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to be all hot and sweaty from working in the garden. I can go jump in the pond, cool off, and come back. That's the plan.
Yeah. Speaking of mulberries, if you weren't with us last summer, we must have 9 mulberry trees. Some of them are massive. We end up with more mulberries than we can process or give away.
Oh, we have more than we know what to do with that any friends or neighbors would possibly want to come and harvest. We love them.
Mm-hmm. We use them a lot.
Yeah, I put up probably 3 gallons of mulberries last year. And that's just from very little effort of going out, shaking the tree, laying a sheet down, and pulling it in, washing them off, throwing them in a bag. So they make father and family love the mulberry jam that I make with them. It's really, really good jam.
It's a weird restriction if you build a pond or if you do anything on your property. If you're gonna, we got 150 acres and we're gonna dig a rock quarry in our backyard. None of the soil from the surface soil can be removed from the property. It all has to stay here.
Yeah, I'm thinking that you could probably I think I've read that there's something where you can get a permit, but it has to be approved where in like a special handler that's going to handle that soil that
Right.
it has to be tested and they know where they're putting it. And hey, Motorcycle Homestead, welcome.
Did we miss any other pictures?
Well, that last one, honey, is just what's coming up this week.
How are we for time? 9:50. So yeah, coming up this week we have a lot of stuff in the works.
We have a lot of stuff that's done, and we're just
Done.
trying not to dilute our channel with so much content all at once. So we just have a lot of stuff that's done, staged, ready to hit that publish button.
And about 2 other videos that are halfway filmed. We need to
Yeah.
finish up some stuff we haven't edited yet, but tomorrow will be, if you were with us 2 weeks ago on our live stream, sorry. 2 weeks ago on our live stream, we broke out our meat grinder and we made breakfast sausage live on our live stream with you guys. And I didn't really like how it turned out. You thought it tasted okay. We took it one step further and I went on a quest to find the perfect breakfast sausage recipe. And it's quite the ordeal. A lot of research went into it. And that video should be dropping tomorrow, maybe around lunchtime for you guys. We try to do our weekend and review videos earlier in the morning. The rest of the stuff we're trying to do a little bit later in the day. But here's a picture of how my breakfast sausage patties turned out. I think we finally settled on a recipe that we like.
Yes, these are, of course, not cooked.
Oh, right. These are raw.
Yeah, raw.
This was basically 5 pounds of breakfast sausage by the time it was all said and done. That we pattied up. We put it on wax paper and we threw them down in our freezer to freeze. And then we pulled them off the wax paper and put them in individual bags and freeze them. So that video of how I did my research on how to make the perfect breakfast sausage recipe will be coming out tomorrow.
I hope you like it. I mean, I think that we found a pretty darn good recipe, but everybody's taste is different. But you'll at least get an idea of what we enjoyed. Whole Picture Home asked if we ever attempted growing dates. I don't know that dates would grow this far north. They seem like a more tropical type plant to me, but I have not. But I am growing figs this year for the first time. And James Casey said, take a little dirt at a time in your pant leg, like the guy from Shawshank Redemption. That's funny.
Or the 59 whatever automobile, the Johnny Cash song.
Yeah, right.
One part at a time.
Yeah. The sausage was so good. It was really, really good. And what we were shocked by was when you think about growing your own pork and the cost of that pork butt, or even going to Walmart and just buying like one of those yellow sticker pork butts like they have sometimes. It's all said and done, how much cheaper it is than going and buying a package of Jimmy Dean or Bob Evans pre-made sausage patties. Like crazy difference. And plus we get to make them the size that we want that fits on our English muffins. So that's like so nice. Hey, Rosanna. We're just wrapping up.
Yep. So yeah, I'm excited about the breakfast sausage one.
Oh, they Busy Little House said she got those popcorn bags. Oh, I'm so glad.
Oh, cool.
That's so fun.
Oh,
Yes,
someone said,
next
sorry, I was
weekend.
looking at the drone pic. You want it back up there?
I don't know what they were talking about, though. I saw that comment, so. Next weekend live show is my birthday, so we are going to cook. We're going to do something. I told Todd we're making a cake or something. So I've been thinking that I want to try out making a dessert in the Instapot. And at the same time, 2 days ago, I said, I want brownies so bad, but I don't want to make them. So maybe we're going to try to make like brownies or like a chocolate lava cake or something in the Instapot for my birthday. So that'll be fun. So come back next Tuesday for something yummy is going to be made in this kitchen. It's not my birthday yet, not till the 9th. Oh, hey, Southern Blessed Homestead, welcome. That's okay. We're just wrapping up, though. You have to go back and watch it. We did a few updates on, like, the food forest, and I don't know what else. Oh, the kids were visiting last week, so we didn't do a live show then. I don't make English muffins, but I want to try and I want to learn. And I've thought about it many, many times. But typically, when you want English muffins, it's like 6:30, 7 a.m. in the morning on Saturday, and it's a 2-hour process to make English muffins. So, to like mix the dough and let it rise and everything. And I'm like, oh, darn it, I should have thought about this last night. Enjoy your dinner, Rosanna. So, you watch the video tomorrow, Michigan Mike. We talk about specifically that thing. So he was asking how did we compare our sausage with Bob Evans and Jimmy Dean. I don't want to give it away, but we do compare it in that video. Happy birthday, Mike. Early birthday. Have a great one. April. Birthday kids are the best.
Do we make our own English muffins? Nope, not yet.
Yeah, I already talked about it while you were gone.
Sorry.
All right, we can say goodnight.
So do you collect roosters?
I take it you collect roosters. Oh, just because of the aprons. This was, I think it's like an accidental collection. So my mom got me this. My mom's been passed away for 19 years. 20 years. So this is really, really old. And I treat it more like just something special. And then Todd's parents made us these one year for Christmas. But, I mean, even when we lived in Rockwood, I decorated our kitchen in roosters. I do love them, but I don't really necessarily collect them. I'm gifted a lot of rooster things.
Right, because people think you collect
them.
So we end up with a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you to Stivers for moderating for us tonight. Next week we'll be looking for moderators again. So if you want to help us out next week and you're going to be here throughout the entire show and you want to help us out, let us know next week. And
there's a rooster.
We'll tag you with a wrench.
Stop finding all the rooster stuff in the house. So, okay, I'm going to just say I've got a rooster pillow. I have a rooster statue, 2 of them.
There's one above our door over there.
Oh, I do have are they seeing that? Yes. I have the rooster. That's actually a doormat that I found at an Amish hardware store, and I've always used it as a decoration. And I've had that since before I met Todd. I have a rooster floor mat. And I honestly think that's it. 2 statues that I'm sure there's some dish towels or something they're so faded you can't even see the roosters anymore. And I've gotten rid of stuff.
Yeah, you have.
So this is a farmhouse. I told my son's mother-in-law, she was over this weekend. And she's like, how does Emily not give you a hard time about your rooster stuff? I said, I think it's fair because I have a rooster. She gives you a hard time because you live in the city and you don't have a rooster.
Very true.
All right. Good night, guys. It was so fun hanging out with you. And keep encouraging each other to grow big and plant where you are.
Yes, indeed. Thanks again, guys. See you soon.